Happening, everybody. We are heading over to the Mustang of Massachusetts show in Fall River. Very excited. I wanted to share with you, I was in such a conundrum this morning. Do I take the Fox body? It is a beautiful day, by the way, like 75 degrees out, probably the best show weather we've had all year. But it's rained for 13 Saturdays in a row. Today is the first Saturday in 14 weeks it has not rained. I love open air motoring, so you know what? We're taking the Gladiator today. We got the roof off. I was so torn on what to take. I really did want to take the Mustang down. I don't think a lot of the folks down there have seen my Fox, but I realize I'll have more opportunities to get the Fox out. You know, I have a show tomorrow in Rhode Island as long as the weather goes well. I'll take the Fox down there tomorrow. But again, I was on the fence, but we're gonna start with the open air. We'll take the Jeep down and we'll get over there in Fall River and we'll show you some amazing cars at the Mustangs of Massachusetts Fall River show. Can't wait to see you guys. Amazing drive down, top off. I think I made the right choice, although I would have liked to have the Fox up here today. There's some beautiful Fox bodies up here now. See another pretty Fox pulling in. There's a couple of really cool ones I want to shoot, but it was 75 degrees. It was about a 45-minute ride, no traffic, cruising at 70 miles an hour with the top off. It doesn't get much better than this. My wife always says, you know, you are one of those people with, you are just happy when the sun's out and you're out to be, and she's 100% right. So I got to enjoy the heck out of just coming in today in a beautiful day. I'm gonna shoot as much stuff as we can. I saw some really cool stuff already. Can't wait to share it with you. We'll come back at the end, we'll wrap up, share some of our favorites. Weather permitting, I hope to see all of you tomorrow at the Mustang Car Club of New England show down in Bristol, Rhode Island.
My name is Sal, and this is my 89 Mustang. Has a 2003 Cobra Terminator swap. I mean, it has a 3.0, a new Whipple supercharger. Also, it's got the aftermarket cams. K-member, drive shaft, even the gas pedal, brake pedal. Clutch pedal, it's all from the 03 Cobra, gas tank. Has the 93 Cobra wheels from Maker's Garage. Also the front splitter, side splitters, that's all from Maker's Garage. It's also running on methanol. Has the Ollie Terminator X. Pretty much that's about it. Right now it's probably about $770 to the tire. Yeah, so it has a Mach 1 seats, and then, I mean, this used to be my brother Dave's Mustang. He passed away in a motorcycle accident, but it looked nothing like this, so I mean, it took me about 7 years to build it. Yeah, it's a fun car.
This car we're going to shoot up here is this beautiful 92 Fox body. This is owned by the brother of the white Fox body we just shot. His name's DeWart. And this car's pretty cool. 347 stroker, 465 horsepower, 92 GT body kit on the bottom, so the ground effects. But what I love that they've done is they put some beautiful 17-inch 5-lug wheels, Wildwood brakes. We've kept the interior pretty much stock, which I like, again, the black interior, but we have added in the 93 Cobra bumper and the 93 Cobra spoiler. So you can see both of these are a labor of love. They both look absolutely amazing. So two really great looking Fox bodies, and these guys have done an amazing job of building these two cars all together. So I wanted to share. We're going to shoot up here is this 2013 Mustang GT. This thing is wild. I wish I got to talk to the owner, because looking at this from every angle, I don't think there's a single body piece on here that hasn't been touched. It has a crazy wide body kit, you know, crazy front splitter, crazy side splitters. The wheels are wild on the car, Brembo brakes. Everything under the hood has been modified. You can see we've got you know, the starlight setups in the door panels. We have all the light strips. Looks like we have nitrous in the back. You know, we've got racing seats. This is just a wild car from every angle. You can see the tail lights are set up so they can, you know, blink a different color. You know, that rear diffuser. This car, just every angle of this car is wild. So I wanted to share it because, again, this is, if you're gonna do a modified or a custom version of a car, this is pretty cool. And they, like I said, I think every body panel on this car has been touched. There's not a single piece that looks factory to me anymore. So very cool 2013 Mustang GT. I'm gonna shoot up here something that's pretty cool, and it caught my attention. You don't see a lot of the full-size Chevys. This is the Caprice, but this is a very interesting Caprice, and I gotta talk to the owner. This is fascinating to me for just a couple of reasons. One is obviously a great looking car. I thought this was a good looking body style for this car, but this car is a 283 like 155 or 195 horsepower. But this car would blew my mind. So it's a 283 2-speed power glide, power steering, manual drum brake car. So somebody bought this car with the V8, but the most bare bones version of the V8 you can get. We were chatting. He said this car drives great. He said it's fun to drive on the highway. He has a 55 with the same motor transmission setup. Said that kind of labors a little bit. Said this doesn't at all. And I love this this interior. It is gorgeous. If you look at it, you have the separate gauges. You have the really cool small T-shifter in there, the wood grain, the vinyl top with the maroon paint. This is just a really sharp version of that full-size Caprice from the late 60s, and they did a great job with it, and I love the simplicity of this version. The next car we're going to shoot up here is this beautiful torch red 1955 T-Bird. 292 motor. This does have the hard top. Again, I love being educated, so thank you. He helped me understand that on this car, the hardtop would have not had the porthole, which I was confused. I knew the motors on these, you would get the 292. In 56, you could also get the 312. They called it the Thunderbird Special. But what a beautiful version of this car. All original, the way it was supposed to be. A couple of things, obviously the bi-plies tires, no power brakes, no power steering, full-wheel drum car. Gorgeous version of the car in torch red. And again, the interior is just stunning on this, and I love this dashboard. That you see that kind of see-through speedometer. If you come in, look on the back end here, you can see through the speedometer on both ends. Just such a cool feature on the 55, and a beautiful version of this car. We're going to shoot up here is this 1990 Ford Mustang LX. Couple of reasons. One, it's a great story on the car. It's owned it for like 11 years, hasn't put a ton of miles on it, but when he bought the car, still had the original paint. This was like that strawberry color in 90. It's pretty rare. This car does have a 347 stroker, put out about 345 horsepower to the rear wheels, along with 390 foot-pounds of torque, 383 rear end for the gears, 16-inch pony wheels. He got these wheels like 11 years ago. He's telling me the story, trying to find them locally. He couldn't find anything, found it on eBay. The guy said pick up only. Turned out it was in Fall River as well, so he was able to pick them up. Interior is super clean. You can see it is a 5-speed car. In 90, we have the 145-mile-an-hour speedometer, the tri-bar. He's also added the 347 stroker badge. He does like to keep it a little bit of a sleeper. And in this color, it really is a great-looking version of the car. So I wanted to share that. And again, he is a 7-year Air Force vet, so thank you for your service. Very cool car. This 2004 Mustang GT anniversary package. So this car was actually really common. I saw a ton of these for a long time, and I don't know what happened, but over the last couple of years, I just haven't seen this particular package come out. This had the gold style bullet wheels. You had the maroon paint with these like goldish color graphics on the side. So this was the special edition. What they did on the special edition, no rear spoiler, the special wheels, the different interior, and the gold stripes. So this was the anniversary package. So if you were looking for an 04, now all 04s had the 40th anniversary badge, but this was the special package with the red, with the gold, with the different wheels, right? So this is a very cool version. I used to see a ton of these, and I just don't see them as often anymore. Very cool version of this car. Veteran car up here, this 1940 Chevy Restomod, all smoothed in the back, gorgeous bodywork. We've smoothed in the taillights. Obviously on an air suspension, this gorgeous like tangerine color. I'm trying to see if there's a color listed, but I would call it like an orange or a tangerine. Absolutely stunning paint on this car. And while you get in the sun, you can see how beautiful it is. Beautiful matched interior. What a beautiful Restomod. And again, thank you for your service to this veteran here, but I wanted to shoot this one lowered. Looks amazing in the sun. Just a gorgeous paint job, so I wanted to share that one with everybody. And you can see under the hood has been done to match the car too. Everything is smooth. The firewall is smooth. We got the chrome, master cylinder. Like everything is just, and there's a lot of thought that's gone into, everything being seamless in this car, and it really shows. Guys, I want to shoot an SN95 up here. This is the first year of the SN95s in 94, but what stood out to me when I came up, obviously you see a hood off and you see the big wheels in the back. I thought it was pretty cool. I wanted to go over and shoot it. Got a chance to talk to the owner. There have been some modifications, so it is a 5.0 motor, which we would have still had in 94. That stayed through 95. The 4.6 came out in 96. This one's been punched out to 306 cubic inches, 345 horsepower, 345 foot-pounds of torque at the dyno. It has been dynoed. Talking to him, he's looking to either do like a nitrous setup or potentially build a turbo motor. He's had it for like 5 years. What I like on this car though is it looks very purpose built. The SN95s, especially the first generation, don't get as much love. And I get it. When this car came out, I would tell you this was a game changer. I owned an 88 Fox body at the time in 94, and everyone wanted this new body style. It harkened back to the 64 and 65. You see the cove that goes along the side that kind of mimicked the C cove that you had in the 64 and 65 and 66s, the more sweeping fastback line. It really brought back the short deck lid, long hood style of the 64 and 65s, and these cars were loved when they came out. The SN95s, I think, are criminally underrated. They're definitely a car you should try to take a look at if you're looking to get into the Mustang hobby. The Fox bodies are starting to get really pricey. You can still get a really nice early year SN95 for under $10,000. The only downside to the 94 and 95s is the 5.0 had a different computer management system than they did from 87 to 93. So some of the modifications on the Fox bodies don't work on the first gen SN95s. That being said, they still have plenty of horsepower. They're still pretty easy to work with. Factory was like 215. You can see you do some modifications. You're putting out 340, 350 horse on this block. No problem. So it's a very cool version of an early SN95. The next car we're going to shoot up here is this beautiful 1966 Ford Fairlane 500 with the big motor, the 390. Now, when people think of the Fairlanes, they definitely had 427s, the side oiler motors, the Thunderbolt cars, but the 390 was kind of the most attainable motor that most folks would have as a big block in these cars, and I think Ford hit the nail on the head on this car. Really great looking interior, beautiful exterior, one of the best looking bodies. I think from in the the mid 60s, this was out of the intermediate, the larger size cars with some of the best looking bodies that were out there. This looks great with like the torque thrust wheels with the Cobra center cap. This is a manual car. We were just chatting, another person that was looking at the car with me. The thing that always blew my mind in these cars is that they all came, most of them came without a factory tachometer. Now, you kind of knew when you had to shift. These cars didn't shift at 7,000 RPM, right? At 4,500 RPM, you're shifting. So you kind of listen and gauge when to, but it's still always fascinating me to get a big block car that you had to, kind of listen for that shifter. Obviously, he's put a tachometer into it, but this is a very pretty version of that 66 Fairlane 500. All right, guys, the next car we're going to shoot up here is this gorgeous 2004 Saleen S281, car number 286 this year. Couple of things, convertible. I love the color combination with the white and blue. Now, this was factory supercharged, but it was added on at Ford a few years later. So this had plenty of power. The Saleens for the SN95s I thought had a great looking body kit. They changed everything, so all the ground effects were completely different. Saleen had their own special wheels. Factory, these did have the slotted and drilled rotors from the factory, so that was pretty cool. When Saleen was building these cars, if they didn't add the supercharger, it was all about the racecraft suspension. It was adding in the different brakes. It was about better performance as an overall better handling car. And they added in two things on the interior that I always thought were very cool. You had the Saleen seats, so you had the different inserts, the Saleen logo, and you got that gorgeous Saleen interior, right? So you think about the Cobras the same year would have also had the white face gauges. Saleen was actually doing their own white face gauges, and you can see the really pretty wing on the back of the car. But what was nice on the Saleen gauges is you could see they would go up to 200 miles an hour. Incredibly optimistic. None of these cars were doing 200 miles an hour. But because Saleen had that history with racing, they would calibrate these speedometers. So these speedometers were actually incredibly accurate. Early 2000s, everyone was blown away when they put the 200 mile an hour speedometer in the car. Now, the newer cars are really coming close to that, but this was kind of Saleen saying, hey, we know the Terminators are out there. We're still building like the coolest, baddest version of the SN95. There are a few rare versions where you can get an 03 or 04 Saleen Cobra, which would actually incorporate the Terminator motor with all of the modifications from Saleen. Those are super hard to find. You don't ever see those, but this is a really pretty version of the last year, the SN95, before they would change to the S197 in 2005, which would change completely, right? In 2005, you go to the center exhaust, a completely different body kit, but this is such a cool version of this car, and I was happy to share it because you don't see these all that often. This beautiful 1979 Trans Am, such a cool story. He's owned it since '85. It was like his high school car. Had the original Olds 403. It now has a Olds 455 in it. 500 horsepower, turbo 400 transmission, 373 rear end. But what's so cool on this car is everything was made customized. So what I want to share on this car, if you see under the hood, the chrome is immaculate. He built this car to compete at the Trans Am Nationals in Ohio, and this car came in first place, and it shows. Custom wheels that kind of mimic the Snowflake with the Trans Am center cap. gorgeous, you know, bird on the hood. Now, what he shared with me is the bird is actually the factory decal. He airbrushed the flames around it. I love how everything is integrated so seamlessly in this car. These are the 81 pace car seats, but they've actually been modified with the green to fit into the theme of the car. That turned aluminum dash. You can see the logos on here. Just everything on this car flows so seamlessly. And I love the color on here. The green is so different. Now, if we go over here, we actually have a beautiful version of a Trans Am right here. And this, I believe, is also, this is either, I haven't looked at the year yet, it's like a 79 or an 80. So this is a 79 as well. You can tell by the 4-ride in the front. But this is more of a factory version. This is a gorgeous car as well. And you can see the factory version looks great on this car. This would have been the Oldsmobile motor. Again, this one looks like it's been modified a little bit. I love the larger, you know, snowflake style wheels. This one has the more factory interior. But we were looking at that green one. I wanted to share both because I do love the Trans Ams. I mean, everybody loves a Smokey and the Bandit type car. And this would have been more the cars you would add like a Smokey and the Bandit 2. But they're both gorgeous, and that green on that first car is absolutely... Okay, I'm going to shoot one of my favorite cars of all time up here. This is a 68 Ford GT40. This is a continuation style car. Again, I just love this car. I mean, when you look at the body lines on this car, and this is the GT40, right? So the reason the 40 was there is the 40 was the top height of the door. And again, this was designed to cut through the wind. You can take a look in the carburetor system in the back of the car, the knockoff wheels. I mean, this car is just gorgeous. I think I told you that the Ford GTs are my favorite car of all time. But the GT40, especially in a version like this with that wide body, you know, the road cars back then were a little bit more soft. They'd have, like, you know, the wire wheels. They were designed to be a little bit more easy to live with. This looks like more of a roadworthy version of the race car. And I mean, look at that body line. It is absolutely stunning. Guys, I'm going to go around and shoot some stuff here, just kind of in general, because I'm about to run out of time. Unfortunately, I have an appointment later on tonight. Well, not an appointment, but my wife and I are going out to see a concert, and I'm about an hour away, so I do got to get back home. So I wanted to share some of the cars that are over here. Obviously, this gorgeous Roush, this beautiful SN95. This is a 99 35th anniversary. We have another good-looking 88 Fox body in the two-tone. Another great-looking Fox body, another SN95 GT. We have an earlier SN95. This is the Saleen kit. I was talking to the owner. This is a Tribute, but it does have a lot of modifications. This car has actually got a ton of power, and I like this. It looks like a Saleen, right? I had one before in my 88 that I had done up like a Saleen. I completely get it. This looks great. So it's a really pretty version of this car. We have another good-looking Fox body convertible, and again, we've got a couple other SN95s. We've got a Charger, the Prowler, the old Hot Rod here. Again, I'm not trying to rush through this. I do want to hit a few more cars on the other side where I can, but I wanted to give some love to some of the other cars out here just because I'm starting to run out of time. But there's some very cool stuff here. All right, guys, the next car we're going to shoot up here is this beautiful 1969 Camaro. It tricked me, and that's okay. I'm glad it did. I thought it was a pace car. I talked to the owner. He's owned it for 32 years, which I think is so cool. It also made me feel really old when he said he bought it in 91, and that's 30 some odd years ago. And I'm like, holy cow, I am getting old. But this was a plain Jane Camaro. He converted it into the way he wanted the car to be, and I love that. It has a 350 motor, turbo 350 transmission, Rally Sport wheels. He did put the Rally Sport headlight covers on there, the SS badging. But my favorite part, obviously, is the white paint with the orange racing stripes and that orange houndstooth interior. This car looks great. You know, we were just chatting. He said, look, I made it the way I want it. I'm not looking to change a whole lot more on it. We are good. And I love that's where he is with the car, and I think it looks amazing. But when I walked up, I absolutely thought it was a pace car. So well done in the work you've done to make it look like a pace car. It looks great. Guys, I'm going to try to shoot this and not get demonetized because of how loud it is with the music behind me. But we can see the Shelby folks showed up en masse. Some beautiful Shelbys up here. I'm just going to walk down the line and share them with you. Obviously, we have GT 350s, GT 500s. It is super loud, so I'm hoping that my voice goes over this music again so I don't get in trouble with YouTube, but I'm going to walk down the line and just share these very cool Shelbys. You know, the Shelby, the new version of the Shelbys is absolutely incredible. They've done so much stuff from a performance standpoint. The cars look absolutely great. And then I love the fact that, you know, a couple of years ago they went back to the GT 350 because you had more of a track-oriented version versus an amazing you know, just high-end, top-end performer with some of these cars, so they all look pretty cool. 1964.5 Mustang, all original. What I love about this car is it was a straight six car, 170 cubic inch, a little over 100 horsepower, 3-speed manual, bare bones, no power, anything. In 64.5, this car would have had a generator. It has been converted over to an alternator, so from a 6-volt to a 12-volt. But you can see right now there's nothing under the hood here. There's no power. There's just as bare bones as it gets, and I love it, right? You just have the Mustang hubcaps, which look great on the car. I think this color was butternut yellow, was it?
No, this is springtime yellow.
Springtime yellow. So again, a really cool car, great color, like the white interior, 3-speed manual. Again, I love when people make me smarter, and he helped me today. In 64.5, they had just pulled the gauge package directly from the Falcon. In 65, they would change those. So this is that 1-year only version of these gauges. But look at the simplicity on the car. Luggage rack, no backup lights, simple lap belts, about as bare bones and easy as it gets with you know, the 4-wheel drum brakes. Just a true, honest to goodness, easy to live with car. This back then would have been designed as a really, you know, attractive commuter car. They called these secretary cars back in the day, right? These cars would have been $2,600, $2,700, pretty stripped down, radio, heater, that's all you got for creature comforts, but it looked great. You could go out and take it, enjoy it on the weekend. It was a fun little car, and again, you could work on it yourself because there wasn't a whole lot of complexity to it, so I wanted to share this really neat original version of a 64. Very cool 69 Mercury Cougar. Just talked to the owner. He's had it for about 3 years. He's done a bunch of the work himself. Has a 302 motor. It was a roller motor that he put into the car. Did all the work. I like there's a couple of really cool things. Obviously brought back like the Magnum 500 wheels, which are color matched to the car. I like the, you know, the badges on the side. He did put the Thunderbolt style hood scoop on the car, which looks great. But I always thought these cars just had a really nice style. You go front to back. It was very similar in size to the Mustang, but this would have been more the gentleman's Mustang, right? So it was a little more upscale. You had the hideaway headlights. You had the little bit more luxury interior with the Mercury than you have on the Mustang of those years. C4 automatic transmission. So just a really nice driving car that looked great, and a car that I think is pretty underappreciated, right? You think about the Cougars now, everyone wants like a Cougar Eliminator, which was essentially a Boss 302. But the regular versions of the Cougars are still very approachable. The XR7s tend to be a little bit more money, but if you're looking for like a base model Cougar in 69 or 70 versus a Mustang, you can find these. A lot of them have the 351 Windsor with the C4 or C6 automatic transmission or a 4-speed manual, but they're very attainable, and I think they have a beautiful style. And this one looks great in this color combination. I think the owner's done a nice job of incorporating some custom touches for him, but it also still looks great and really honors the lines of the car. It's either, you know, anywhere between like a 90 and a 93. Not sure the exact year. There's not a ton of external markers on here. It's got the 140 mile an hour speedometer. It has the airbag steering wheel. This color, I would guess, I want to say it's like a 93 color, especially with the red interior. But I shot this because when I had my 88 years ago and it got stolen, I looked at a 93 LX that looked just like this car. And so this is bringing back a lot of memories from it. I came very close to buying it, and I saw this car, and it was like the exact same color combination. So the pony wheels, obviously a 5.0, pretty straightforward hatchback car. You know, obviously some aftermarket exhaust tips that look great. But again, just a really simple version of this car that looks great. So we were just talking about trying to figure out what it was, but I really like these cars. And they're just super simple. So I wanted to shoot this one because it brought back some nostalgia for me of when mine got stolen, and I was looking for my second version. And like I said, it was a car just like this. Up here today is this absolutely gorgeous black 1988 Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. I love these cars. We were just chatting. I think they're criminally underrated. They were on the same Fox platform, a little longer than the Fox body, but aesthetically these were gorgeous. And the important thing for these cars is when they were out, and the reason these cars mattered so much, this was Ford's answer to NASCAR. They weren't racing Mustangs, they were racing Thunderbirds. And this is where Chevy struggled, right? The Monties were out there. This is where they had to come out with the Aero Coupe in '87 to compete with the body style on this, because these were so slippery in the air. Billy Elliott was killing everybody in NASCAR with the T-Bird. So Chevy had to retaliate with that, you know, the '87 Pontiac Grand Prix 2+2, the Monty SS with the Aero kit. But I thought aesthetically these were gorgeous. The struggle with these cars is they rusted like crazy. This was the 2.3 turbo, about 190 horsepower factory. This one has some slight modifications to put out a little over 200 horsepower, but I love the front end of this car. I love the hood scoop that goes in with the air ducts that look super functional. This one does have the 93 Cobra Mustang wheels, but these wheels are 17-inch, so these are larger than you would find. They're still a 4-lug wheel. What you also saw in the Thunderbirds, which was so cool compared to the Mustangs, is these were factory 4-wheel disc brakes. The Mustangs of this year would have been front disc, rear drum. So this had a lot of technology the Mustang didn't have. And if you take a look, it's just basically the same gauge package, right? The same gauges. You get your voltmeter, your water temperature, your oil pressure, and your fuel. So it's exactly what you'd find in the Mustangs. But again, very rare to see these. This is so cool to talk to the young man that owns it, because he bought it for like $500, did all the work himself, and it's very cool to see all that work that goes into there. So it's just a very cool version. What a great show. Mustangs of Massachusetts. I did sign up for their club. If you haven't done it so far, it's like $20 to join. They do a couple of shows a year. They do this one, and they do one in September at the Stone Zoo. Worth checking out. Some really cool stuff up here. We saw some stuff that we haven't seen as frequently. I'm gonna apologize. I only had like 2 hours at the show today, and I got really deep into the first row of cars. So like cars row into, I apologize I didn't get to you. Like, it was not intentional. I just had some great conversations. That's what happens at these shows sometimes, is you just get deep into the conversation. So then you look up and you're like, holy crap, I am not gonna make it to all these cars. So I tried my best to get to as many people as I can. I will be in Johnston, Rhode Island tomorrow, as long as the weather is good. Hopefully this video goes up today and not tomorrow to mess you up. So I will be in Johnston on Sunday. This show was on Saturday. I appreciate all of you for the great conversation today. If you haven't done it so far, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all of you, and I look forward to seeing you at the shows coming up.